Sir, will you please explain me more about LGBTQ plus community? Also the spectrum which is involved in that.
So, when we talk about LGBTQIA, so initially when this term came into picture, it was only LGBT. QIA came into, after many people said, okay, well, this strata of people needs to be included. So it was, LGBT. Now, if you talk about, LGB, the lesbian, the gays, and the bisexuals, that has to do with the orientation. Whereas transgender, LGBT, the transgender is about the gender expression, where I told you when you are not in incongruence, or you also call it a gender dysphoria, when you do not identify your gender expression is not in congruence with your biological sex, which is known as the gender dysphoria, or nowadays it calls incongruence. So apart from this, so they have also included people who actually question, a QIA, so people who are actually questioning the probably why there has to be a binary, like a male female binary, we should get away with it, or talking about different gender expressions. So there is a whole spectrum of people who, I won't say that they are at a discomfort, like probably even if they are at a discomfort, so probably in terms of their acceptance in the society, but not as a person who they are. Although with the time, when you are actually trying to identify your identity, like who you are as a person, it is at times confusing. Because especially the time when there was no television, no social media, now the students are so informed. I mean, not students, or even people, or so it's very easy to identify who you are as a person and come out to the people, or the family, or to peers. So it's quite easy, but back then and also thanks to the the social media, that even the parents are quite informed in terms of understanding the different. There are certain ads who focus the issues of LGBT. So I think that's great. I mean, I myself have attended queer pride walks at Delhi, at Chandigarh, so many times. I've met so many people with such vivid gender expressions. I mean, it's just beautiful. I mean, you were born as a male, your gender expression is entirely different, your orientation is different. See, I think although you need certain rules, or you can say to set the society in order, but humans are so complex. Now even today, when I read about on gender and the stories of people, I mean, you cannot you can say categorize that, okay, this is a set of people that will be there, I mean, the way of walking, talking, or whatever, that this will be their gender expression, or this will be a set of people, that is how they should behave, or that is how they should this what they should do. So you cannot categorize things nowadays. So yes, although there are LGBTQIA community has its own I mean, challenges as well, like and I hope that challenges will get solve very soon. And instead of hearing or people screaming or asking for their rights at any of these pride, I hope to see a day when they are actually pitching on more major issues, rather than just being in this century and still fighting for the very basic rights. So yeah, that is what I think.
Sir, have you mentioned your career was drastically shifting? It was first starting with the aspiring doctor, then it was a biotechnology, then it was a fashion industry, then you prepared for civil service exam, then you again come to fashion industry. So what make you to be come back into fashion industry, and what makes you the perfect thing that fashion industry is only for me? So will you please elaborate?
Uh, well, life is quite, I mean, it's always been quite unpredictable to me. Like when it comes to my career growth or where my life gonna take me. But I quite liked the whole journey, the beauty of whole journey. I mean, it's not the case at times I didn't feel low. I like a human being, I won't say that, I'm very strong, I don't, feel low. No, it's common. Like I accept I'm a human being, I have emotions. ठीक है, I'm a man who cries. ठीक है, so that's not, what was never an issue with me. So I enjoyed the whole beauty. So yeah, I always wanted to be a doctor. Luckily, unluckily, I didn't able to get through. I got into the dental, but I was not very happy with the dental sciences. So I got into biotechnology, although when I got into biotechnology, I thought I have to study more bio and technology. So, but yes, when I went to in my first semester, I had to study calculus 1, the differentiation and integration, which I had no idea, because I was a medical student. You have no idea how I passed that course, somehow. But, and yes, in my the 4 years of engineering, I had an year of, quite low, where I was still trying to introspect, I have this habit of, introspecting again and again, or, you can say the self-reflecting. I reflect on my thoughts a lot, that whether I'm taking a decision. I think it's more in my genes. I always try to take an informed decision. Like I'm not a person who will just take, any random decision. So I'm just, quite, although I love the beauty of spontaneity, but only when it comes to working, and never when it comes to, taking decisions. So yes, I mean, it was hard for me to, so I was still introspecting at that time, in one of the year. So even my grades were not very good. But I said, it's okay. I mean, because everyone has their own way of, yeah. So I had no choice, obviously, I might have said to my parents that, I don't want to pursue biotechnology, but I did, and I completed it, with good, CGPA, what you say, and I mean, something, which is acceptable. And then I got a chance to do Master of Arts from Hertford University, Scotland. I told my father that I want to pursue fashion. He said, okay, go. And one thing I quite like about, pursuing that 1 year degree, I mean, that was actually a roller coaster ride for me. Like, first of all, out of your country, like being 22, 23 for the very first time, entirely from a different background, and I have to compete with students, with a 4 degree of, professional, like they call it a BA honors there, and it's a 4-year professional degree like our Bachelor of Design, in India. So I have to compete with them. Language issues, because they speak typical Scottish, and Scottish English is little, hard to understand. So yeah, so there were, food habits were fine. Place was very similar to, where I belong to, Himachal Pradesh, So yeah, so it used to rain there a lot. My hometown at Himachal, it rains a lot, so it was quite, similar. And also I quite like, cold places. It was good. But when it comes to, study, I used to study, almost I have no idea how many hours I have spent, sitting in a library, try to cover what those students have covered in, 4 years, and when you say, the education system is entirely different in India and abroad, there the professors are not that easily approachable. They let you work on your own, you know, I mean, it is, you more work in a self-discovery mode. You try, you fail, you try, you fail, and then you find the best way which suits you. And you say, okay, now this is, you know, Akash Rathour, this is the way, you know, I think you can, you know, move forward. So I always worked in a self-discovery mode. And it was, and the beauty of working in a self-discovery mode without any restrictions is great. I didn't know the basics of, you know, pattern making or how to stitch a garment. But at the end, I have to stitch a garment. I can take the guidance of my professors, but not to a level, you know, where they're gonna teach me it from the scratch. I used to see some video tutorials, you know, some trial and error, you know, and at the end, I found my way of, you know, doing working, working, and it worked. It perfectly worked, you know. So I ended up creating, you know, a collection on origami, displayed it well in our, like, you know, the masters. There used to be a, like, you know, at the end there is an exhibition of the masters. So people came, you know, appreciated, and so yeah, the best thing is, you know, when my professor told me that, you know, Akash, you still belong. Don't think that you're not from fashion background. I think that is, like, you know, I think I thought, like, you know, I proved myself. Then I came to India, wanted to work in industry for some time, got into Aditya Birla Group. So as a fashion consultant and, you know, visual merchandiser. So I worked in Ambience Mall Gurgaon for like 3 or 4 months. I was happy, but there was no designing or, you know, working with the material involved. Yeah. Although we used to sell, you know, all the, you know, the international brands, and it was good. So I won't say that it was a waste there. I learned a lot in terms of, you know, fashion. Whatever I liked, you know, I came to know different, you know, manufacturing practices, how, you know, what are the different finishing techniques which are, you know, used by the international brands. So I think that part was very good. It was a great learning for me. Then I won't say that, you know, getting into or preparing for civil services, which came next in my career, was wholeheartedly my decision. It was
Your parents' decision.
It was my parents'
Definitely. It was.
decision. If I'll talk about my father, he retired as a chief engineer from an HPC, so he has always seen the luxury of, you know, the government job. It was a central. Similarly, my mother, she's into government job. My sister, she's a government doctor. My brother-in-law, he's a government doctor. So I think whole family except me are into, you know, so that pressure of, you know, the government doctor was, I mean, of a government job was huge. So I prepared, but one thing I think is there, you know, I'm quite determined. That is, I think it's in my blood. If I do something, I give my heart and soul to it. No matter, even if I'm not interested. I will, you know, do. Because I never want to, if I do something, I never want to hear somebody saying, you didn't do it well. No. That is like kind of a, you know, I can't take that, you know. I think it is, it is sort of, okay? So, and especially when I know that I didn't give my 100%. So it haunts you more. Like if you have given your 100% and you didn't succeed, then you are at least, you know, somehow you are at a good state. You're calm. Okay, Akash, you did your, you know, 100%, didn't exceed, it's okay. But when you know you didn't do, and then on the top of it, like, you know, people are screaming that no, it was not good. I think that haunts me more. Like, you know, I don't know about other people. Like from my experience, it will haunt me more. So it was the same thing. So I prepared for like almost 3 years. 3 years? Yeah, 3 years. Coaching centers at Chandigarh, Delhi, Mukherjee Nagar, and, you know, all those places. It's not that I was not doing good. I think rest is destiny, but I think if I could have, you know, like, you know, worked, like prepared a little more, I might have, you know, got through. And it's not the case that I lost hope, that is why I left it. How I came to fashion, you know, I was just, you know, I was preparing like civil services again. I was at Delhi, Saket. One of the faculty who has taught me fashion and design basics, Ankita ma'am, she called me up. And I don't know, either she called me up or I called her regarding, fashion, vacancy at LPU, like, where I'm, like, present job. So she said, yes, just, fill the details online and, come. Okay. When I came to, they called me for an interview and I was not prepared. I was not prepared because my portfolio was not with me, because I was out of fashion for quite a long time. Okay. So I came here and I didn't get selected. They didn't select me for the very first time when I came. Okay. Then back to, the civil services and all and everything. Then in 2016, I took another chance. I came here for the interview again, like, and this time again, I didn't have a portfolio, but I managed to, because I think it was, everyone has their, tipping point. So I was at my, that tipping point that, I want to, give it a try. And I got, they told me, oh, yeah, it's confirmed. And so I got a confirmation letter, started teaching 21st July 2016, my first day at LPU as a faculty. Okay, entirely like a new role. Then, started teaching. I became the academic operations coordinator. Then I was head of lab for, 2 years. And then recently, I became the head of department. So the whole journey was nice. So now if you'll ask me, like what part I like the most, like, starting from that desire to have a doctor to teaching, I would say teaching. As a faculty, you cannot understand the sense of responsibility that we have on our shoulders every day to, to develop that connection with the student at first, and then maintaining that connection throughout the 4 years of journey. So many hurdles, so many things will come, There will be some students who blindly follow you. I have met few students. Akash sir has told this. So that is why we are doing this. Then I understood the level of, faith those students, show inside, on you, and the sense of responsibility. You are actually, the creator of their, the career. So parents, whenever I used to talk to their parents, they used to say, like, lot many parents used to say, sir, आपके ऊपर छोड़ दिया अब, आप मारो पीटो बस इसकी जिंदगी बना देना. And I was like, okay, now another role, So you can say it was an accidental discovery for myself, like what I like the most. So I think teaching is something, which
excites you.
Yeah, I'm gonna do, although now, like, I have got other like administrative responsibilities as well, so my teaching has reduced. But no matter, like, whatever, at what position I reach, I will definitely, teach, be it, at LPU or, any other place, be it, the students or, probably an adult. The whole process of teaching, I quite like, it's so close to my heart, so close to my heart.
Now we are going to the rapid fire session for our shoot.
Okay, I'm quite excited.
Okay, sir. So are you ready, sir?
Yes.
First question would be, which brand do you wear most frequently?
I generally go for Zara Studio.
Why so?
It is because they use the recycled material most of the time, and their material is quite good in comparison to the normal Zara.
What's your favorite fashion trend?
My favorite fashion trend, I generally don't believe in trends. There are different categories of fashion, so I'm more into classic fashion.
What's your favorite fabric to wear?
I generally go for linen. It's quite breathable, yeah.
Okay. Which color do you like the most for the men's grooming?
I love rainbow. when it comes to colors. You know, I don't want I don't want to see men wearing those 3 or 4, you know, stereotypic colors, the blue, black, white and grey. No. A serious no from my side.
Which occupation other than this would you want to try if you get the chance?
I think a lawyer.
Why so?
I think I will be very good at it. I mean, yeah, I think with the time I have seen, you know, I mean, I've developed like, you know, all sort of skills, you know, be it diplomatic or, you know, otherwise. So I think a lawyer probably.
So sir, now we are going to ending up our session. So I would last piece of advice you want to give to our viewers who are going to start this career as soon.
Okay, the last piece of advice I would like to give to people, you know, who want to pursue a career in fashion is experience the world as much as you can, and not in a virtual mode, you know, through your mobile phones or, you know, to fashion avatars. Through conversations, talk to people, visit new places, you know, understand people. I mean, that's very important. So do have that human touch at every point in your life. And the second will be self-reflect before sleeping. You know, whatever you do whole day, you know, always try to self-reflect what went right, what went wrong, and what's the scope of, you know, improvement. I think that helps a lot. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for being such a wonderful session.
Thank you very much. It was my pleasure.
Thank you very much, sir. So guys, this was our 5th episode. Hope you like the most. Also comment me down what are your learnings. Also what you want to make another video for me, और जो आप चाहते हो कि मैं बनाऊं, and also drop us some comments, good comments. Okay then. Subscribe for more. Bye.